In the headlines, the DAIC applauds government's COVID-19 economic stimulus package. A warning from the Prime Minister, government's response to COVID-19 could get tougher if circumstances warrant. And CIBC First Caribbean donates $27,000 to help purchase test kits in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this.
Avec Flow, gagnez l'argent, on partit l'argent avec Flow. Gagnez l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec Flow. Animez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, et venez joindre Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
When you feel a sneeze or a cough coming, covering your mouth prevents the spread of germs. You probably knew that. But the way you cover up also matters, and that means breaking a habit you've held near and dear all your life. Cover your nose and mouth with your flexed elbow or a tissue, not your hands. Discard the used tissue immediately. Then wash your hands. Help stop the spread of germs. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
A message by the Health Promotion Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Dominica.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Away $40,000 in cash, 2 bags of money plus a grand every Friday.
We're flowing better every day, and now we're making Fridays great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
$10 or more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you want to win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, the Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce has applauded government's economic stimulus package as announced by Prime Minister Skerrit over the weekend. The $15 million income support program was revealed to the public as part of government's program to help citizens who lost livelihoods because of the pandemic's impact. Executive Director of the DAIC, Liz Fabian, says the measures reflect a number of suggestions from the association.
DAIC notes that several of the initiatives that we proposed to the government for our membership and the wider private sector were included in the support measures presented. These included corporate tax rebates for companies who retain the majority of their employees, duty and VAT relief on personal protective equipment, financing for the tourism and manufacturing sectors, the micro, small and medium enterprises and the self-employed, as well as facilitating infrastructure projects to encourage local capacity and income generation. We also supported further initiatives on income support, agricultural initiatives, and direct purchasing schemes with local producers.
The DAIC pledged its support to the actions which need to be taken to ensure the smooth and transparent execution of the stimulus package.
It is important for there to be consistent and transparent implementation of these measures with support of all social partners in tandem with the public sector. So we at DIC pledge our support to the actions needed to deliver on these initiatives to our private sector and the general public by extension in as short time as possible. We continue to advocate for a careful return to a more normalized business and social climate while we maintain our vigilance on health protocols and border controls. We will continue to seek additional information for the implementation of these support measures to guide our members through this process in maximizing the opportunities that are provided.
In other top stories, Prime Minister Skerrit says government has tried to cushion the impact of COVID-19 on citizens, but remains open to making adjustments if warranted. He says while there has been no negative impact on government employees' salaries, the pandemic is far from over, and with no end in sight, there is no telling what stringent measures may have to be taken later on.
Fellow Dominicans, we must be realistic and pragmatic. If this situation continues for an extended period, the government will have no choice but to make significant cuts. While the government has taken no decision to terminate anyone's employment or salary, we should not take this for granted, as no one knows how long the challenges will persist. People should not take advantage of the work from home protocols to be unproductive, because in the end, all of us will lose out. I want to encourage all citizens to curtail unnecessary expenditures and be creative and innovative in seeking out job opportunities in other areas.
The Prime Minister says now that Dominica has 0 active COVID-19 cases, and with the reopening of the country's economy and borders drawing closer, this is no time to be careless.
In addressing the reopening of different sectors of the economy, the guiding factor has to be protecting lives and livelihoods. To prevent community transmission, government continues to strengthen our surveillance, contact tracing, and isolation systems. As we gradually reopen, it is imperative that we take all the necessary measures to slow the potential spread of the virus throughout our society. Our approach must be measured. We have seen that some countries took quick measures to reopen, and they have had to review that decision in light of a new wave of the virus. We are learning, and we need to learn more from the experience of other countries, and importantly, listen to the science. Saving lives is our utmost priority. Re-entry into Dominica will be phased to ensure that facilities and health staff are not overwhelmed. We appreciate that there are many Dominicans out there who wish to return home, including our students. We are working on ensuring that you can return home to be with your families without placing them and yourself and others at risk.
In other developments, Dominica's fight against the coronavirus has received a financial injection of $27,000. The donation from CIBC First Caribbean International Bank, Dominica branch. Country head of the local branch, Stephen Lander, who made the donation to the Ministry of Health on Tuesday, says the bank is committed to playing its part to help the national effort.
We're happy at this stage that we're down to no active cases, and we want to keep it that way. And one of the ways that we keep it that way is actually to go out and test and ensure that those who may be infected or asymptomatic are identified, isolated, and treated as needed. So that is the motivation behind our donation today. However small it is, we hope it goes a long way towards the effort.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Letitia Lestrade-Wyke, says the funds will go towards the purchase of test kits, a key tool in the COVID-19 fight.
Purchasing of test kits is expensive, and with the intent of the ministry to do the community testing, and as you said, you got it rightly, so this means that the education that we are providing is also well understood, because you presented it quite well as to why we are going to be doing community testing. So we want to say thank you, Minister, on behalf of the Minister, the Permanent Secretary, and all the staff in the Ministry of Health, both in the primary health care and the secondary health care. We will be purchasing test kits. We have already identified an area, the type of kits we want to purchase.
In more news, CARICOM has described the latest attack by the European Union on the economic well-being of some of its member states as calloused and premature.
The list of third countries named earlier this month are said to have deficiencies in fighting money laundering and financing of terrorism. The EU Commission says these countries are subject to enhanced due diligence measures by European Union states. This list, which includes 4 CARICOM member states, were neither informed nor consulted prior to this month's publication. The CARICOM statement says the European Commission's unilateral actions are therefore contrary to the principles of transparency. The statement goes on to say that one of the countries had been delisted by the Financial Action Task Force since February 2020, and the other 3 member states had already entered into agreed action plans with the FATF. It continues, CARICOM member states continue to demonstrate their commitment to strengthening their frameworks for anti-money laundering and have actively participated in the CFATF's mutual evaluation process. The Caribbean community maintains its call for a uniform, fair and transparent assessment process that is based on an inclusive multilateral framework. It says the action of the European Commission is not in keeping with the collaborative and supportive relationship between CARICOM and European states.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Si ou ni maladie HIV et bien maladie sexuelle, si ou pas protéger corps là ou kan sexe avec plusieurs monde, ça kay mette la vie ou en gros danger. Ou ka expose tout partenaire au poison et que ça qui ka vini avec maladie. Servi yo condom chaque fois ou kan sexe. Changer qui est important pour découvrir maladie à bonheur ou ça vivre en bonne santé même si ou ni maladie HIV. Prends responsabilité, protéger corps et puis les autres. Examinez corps. Aidez du bout si même maladie HIV et l'autre maladie sexuelle.
With love, when I bag of money, cash out. Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From
Yo, check this. Flo is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus a grand every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making parties great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up,
10,000 more.
sign up,
Just switch to Flow.
get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flo,
Win a bag of money.
cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. For Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flo.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
When you feel a sneeze or a cough coming, covering your mouth prevents the spread of germs. You probably knew that. But the way you cover up also matters, and that means breaking a habit you've held near and dear all your life. Cover your nose and mouth with your flexed elbow or a tissue, not your hands. Discard the used tissue immediately. Then wash your hands. Help stop the spread of germs. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
A message by the Health Promotion Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Dominica.
Avec flow, gagner l'argent, on partit l'argent avec flow. Gagner l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec flow. Animez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, every video join flow. It only gets better with flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Welcome back. Dominica is among 7 Caribbean countries to benefit from close to $67 million in emergency loan funding from the CDB to help finance its response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Antigua and Barbuda, $13 million US, Belize, $15 million, Dominica, $2.5 million, Grenada, $5.9 million, St. Lucia, $10.8 million, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, $11.3 million, and Suriname, $8.2 million. The money is expected to help keep critical government services and operations running. CDB President Warren Smith says the funds are also expected to help halt economic decline and minimize hardship while giving attention to the most vulnerable people. The emergency loans will allow these countries to promptly meet their urgent financing needs without diverting resources away from critical social expenditure or health emergency needs. Caribbean countries are especially vulnerable to the global outbreak due to their heavy dependence on tourism for income and employment. According to CDB estimates, many of these countries, including those which will be supported with emergency loans, will fall into recession this year. Real gross domestic product will decline in Antigua Barbuda 1.5%, Belize 5.4%, Dominica 2.9%, Grenada 10%, St. Lucia 9.1%, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines 4.8%. Suriname, heavily dependent on gold production and export, was also severely hit, and the economy almost brought to a complete standstill. Its economy is forecast to contract by 3% this year.
And the government has dramatically increased the funding for the Ministries of Health and Agriculture in response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
The Prime Minister says this experience has highlighted the importance of enhancing the country's food security. He says improving export earnings from the agriculture sector is also a priority.
We are also committing to spend an additional $10 million EC dollars under the Contingency Emergency Response component of the Emergency Agriculture Livelihoods Project. Support will be provided to crop and livestock farmers. This will include the provision of planting materials, essential inputs such as fertilizer, small farming implements, and animal feed. To assist with meeting the cost of farm labor and other direct costs, cash grants have been approved to approximately 2,500 individual crop farmers. The amount of these grants is based on the size of the farmer's holding. Farmers with small holdings will receive grants of EC $700, medium holdings EC $1,400, and large holdings EC $2,800. This intervention is valued at EC $3.5 million. We also have an ambitious seedlings program, as well as direct assistance to pork and poultry farmers. The full details of the depth of our assistance plans for the entire agricultural sector will be unveiled this week by the ministry.
Mr. Skerritt has expressed confidence that government's interventions will help lower the country's food import bill. He believes these measures will also help reduce household expenditure, improve dietary quality, and increase sustainable employment.
We should also see higher export volumes and increased income for families. Residents are encouraged to produce as much as possible, while government is doing its part to ensure that there are markets available for the sale of your produce. We have also agreed to purchase fresh produce and fish from farmers and fishers who are prepared to sell directly to government. Some of these produce will also be distributed to the most vulnerable in our communities. An amount of $3 million has been set aside to facilitate this program.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Avec Flow, gagnez l'argent, on partit l'argent avec Flow. Gagnez l'argent, on gros sac l'argent. C'est juste ça pour gagner un gros sac l'argent avec Flow. Animez on top up, sign up, quittez yo, et vite joindre Flow. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
With Flow, win a bag of money, cash out, get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
Yo, check this. Flow is giving away $30,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah.
2 bags of money plus $1,000 every Friday.
With Flow is better every day, and now we're making Fridays great. That's 3 ways that you can play. So listen up.
Top up.
10,000 more.
Sign up.
Just switch to Flow.
Get a plan.
1 gig or more. If you wanna win cash galore.
With Flow.
Win a bag of money.
Cash out.
Get a bag of money. What you gonna do with a bag of money? Yeah. From Flow.
So top up, get a plan, or switch now to win. It only gets better with Flow.
Flow terms and conditions apply.
To end the news, the headlines again. The DAIC applauds the government's COVID-19 economic stimulus package. A warning from the Prime Minister. Government's response to COVID-19 could get tougher if circumstances warrant. And CIBC First Caribbean Bank gives $27,000 to help purchase testing kits in the fight against coronavirus. Feel free to access or past the newscast on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us next time.